adolescence now lasts from ages 10 to 24, scientists have claimed. Millennials are more likely to study longer and delay settling down than previous generations, pushing back popular perceptions of when adulthood begins. Advances in health and nutrition mean puberty is beginning earlier in life, meaning the average child enters adolescence at 10. Traditionally, adolescence was thought to last from ages 14 to 19, but scientists now claim this definition is overly restrictive. Researchers at the Royal Children's Hospital in Melbourne, Australia, say that many are choosing to delay the responsibilities of adulthood. We should expand the definition of adolescence from 10 to 24 to ensure young people receive support from social policies, the scientists write in a new paper. Professor Susan Sawyer, director of the Melbourne Hospital's Centre for Adolescent Health, said, although many adult legal privileges start at age 18 years, the adoption of adult roles and responsibilities generally occurs later. An expanded and more inclusive definition of adolescence is essential for developmentally appropriate framing of laws, social policies, and service systems. Age definitions are always arbitrary. Our current definition of adolescence is overly restricted. The ages of 10 to 24 years are a better fit with the development of adolescents nowadays. In the 1972, the average age for British adults to get married was 25 years for men and 23 years women, according to the Office for National Statistics. Today the average British adult gets married 8 years later, at 32.5 years for men and 30.6 years for women, ONS figures show. Biological arguments for why the definition of adolescence should extend include that the brain continues to mature past the age of 20. Some individuals, especially men, keep growing well into their 20s. The researchers also argue that puberty is now starting earlier in life, meaning the definition of adolescence should follow. Improvements in health and nutrition in the West mean the average child now begins puberty at 10 instead of 14. Professor Russell Viner, President-elect of the Royal College of Pediatrics and Child Health, agreed that adolescence extended to 24 and said some UK services already took this into account. He told BBC News, in the UK, the average age for leaving home is now around 25 years for both men and women. Statutory provision in England in terms of social care for care leavers, young people who have been in care, and children with special educational needs now goes up to 24 years. But Dr. Jan McVarish, a parenting sociologist at the University of Kent, said there was a risk of infantilizing young adults if the definition was extended. She said, older children and young people are shaped far more significantly by society's expectations of them than by their intrinsic biological growth. There is nothing inevitably infantilizing about spending your early 20s in higher education or experimenting in the world of work. Society should maintain the highest possible expectations of the next generation.